Harold Taylor, CSP, author of 11 books and hundreds of articles on the topic of time and life management, is president of Harold Taylor Time Consultants Incorporated, with offices in Toronto, Ontario, and St. Petersburg, Florida. Here, he presents a seminar to over 1,500 members of the Peak Performers Network at the Toronto Convention Centre. We join him as he uses himself as an example of how we squander time.
As you can see, I have a desk that's rather cluttered. Those people, at least who are close up, can see I have a cluttered desk. I was one of those individuals who figured that anybody who had a neat, tidy desk never really experienced the joy of finding something they once thought was lost. I mean, we have to have some small pleasures in life. So I had a desk with paperwork that you wouldn't believe. I had my phone on my desk, worst place for a phone, but that's where it was, my in basket on my desk. I had my desk backed up against the wall so I could use window ledges to pile more piles of paper. And I had a 2x4, reinforced 2x4, actually underneath the desk, so it'll hold a lot on a good day as well, about 1.5 tons. And I was working away on what I thought were my priorities, which is whatever the boss gave me to do. And I was working on it, and all of a sudden, somebody walks into my office or up to my desk, because sometimes I didn't have an office, and they threw something in my in basket. Now, I had an irresistible urge to take a quick peek to see what that was. Now, regardless of how important that task was, I mean, that's who can resist, right? So I pick it up and I look at it, and I find, oh my goodness, that's great, it's not urgent. I mean, sure, it's important, but it's not due for another week or two. So I throw it back in. And then I say, now where was I? And I have to reread the paragraph I've already written. And then I get the creative juices start to flow, get something productive down, all of a sudden somebody else walks in and throws something in there. And I go, what's that? And I pick that up, and I look at that, and I throw it back in. Now, you see, I have no intention of doing anything with these things in the first place. I just check and make sure they're not a letter bomb. Yeah, looks pretty safe, so I throw it back in again. And I go back to work. Now, what I am really doing is checking it out to see whether it's urgent, as I mentioned. Because if it's urgent, that's a different story. I'll run with that right away. Oh my gosh, look at this thing. I better get on this right away. I'll miss my coffee break this afternoon, and away I go. But if it's only important, it just relates to our goals, new product folder, sales calls, proposals, propositions, things like that. Well, that's not due for another 2 weeks, so I'll throw it back in until it becomes urgent as well. Why? Well, because I work better under stress. Well, I found out later in the hospital you don't work better under stress, you work faster under stress. There's a difference. If I threw that back in, how do I know when that becomes urgent then? Well, I have people helping me. Because no sooner am I halfway through my project here, a few days later, a phone rings, I pick it up. And here's somebody following up. Harold, I sent you a memo about 3 weeks ago. Did you not get that memo? And all of a sudden, oh yeah, I got that, and I'm shuffling through here looking for it now. And I'm stalling for time to say, wasn't that just last week you sent me, Ralph? He says, oh no, I sent you that at least 2 weeks ago. I find I can negotiate on these calls. I could have got this guy down a week and a half at that time. But I'm too busy. Now, as I'm looking, what do I see? I see things that were only important before, but have now become urgent in the interim. Oh my gosh, there's that thing I have to have for the meeting this afternoon. Oh, there's that thing Betty was looking for. Oh, here's that thing Ralph was after this afternoon. And I'm pulling all these other things, the urgent items now, out into the surface where they can agitate my ulcers. Not that I'll have time to do them, but don't leave them buried out of sight, out of mind. And who wants to lead a peaceful day? Eventually I find the letter he's looking for. And I say, oh yes, I've got your memo here. In fact, I was just about to reply to that. I lie. And he says, well, I didn't mention in the letter, Harold, could you also send me 50 folders then, indicating the new products you're now distributing? I say, oh yeah, I know the ones you mean. You want 50 of those, do you? And now what I'm doing, folks, is searching through my clutter for my scratch pad, which I can't find among all this clutter. And yes, I was using little scratch pads and cubes, silly little things. I felt obligated to use them because I got them free from suppliers and vendors. A lot of them actually said from the desk of, as if desks could write letters. And I was writing notes on these scraps of paper that are caught up in paper clips or in my pocket, my dressing room table at home. I had thousands of these silly to-do lists. But of course, I couldn't find the scratch pad fast enough, didn't want to hold this person up, so I would do the next best thing. Guess what? Rely on my memory. Now, I don't know about you folks, but I always had a memory like a steel trap. I mean, who's going to forget to send out 50 folders from the time they hang up? So I say, no problem, Ralph. I'll send you those folders just as soon as I get off the phone. But only in seminars like this does one work up here in isolation. If you were back at the shop with this funny little thing in your ear, and you're sitting at your desk, and somebody's talking to you. Now, you yourself are not talking, you're not writing, therefore, visibly to anybody else coming in on you, you're not doing anything. And they immediately spot this other direct channel of the brain here. You see, folks have done their research. They know we've got two brains. Only one's being utilized. So they start talking to this one. Now, somebody's talking here, but there's a conversation going on in here. As if that's not bad enough, this intruder, recognizing my left ear must be twitching for some reason or other, actually whispers so as not to bother me. I'm training to hear straining to hear what he's saying. I'm hearing half of 2 conversations. I finally get off the phone, give my attention to Sam, who just burst in. We just get involved in our conversation, and the study phone rings again. Urgent. Oops, excuse me. Sorry about that, Sam. Excuse me. No, don't you leave. I want to waste your time, too. Hello.